Nik, I guess a lot of people are looking at this as kind of a grudge match of sorts. Is this an emotional fight for you?
All fights for me are emotional. You know, I put everything I have into this. My whole life was fighting. Got fighting in my family. Those are the two most important things to me. So if anyone gets in the way of that, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him bad. I'm gonna hurt Charles tomorrow.
Is this a little different because of the history that's there between you guys?
No, man. The only thing different about this is that you're gonna see how much I've changed in the last, 4 whatever years. You know, I was a completely different fighter then. I had enormous talent, but I didn't get to the point, like, I didn't have the right coaching, I didn't have the right people to mold that talent, you know? I was a talent from the beginning, but I had no technique. Now I got all the technique, so I'm a dangerous man.
How much do you think about his weight and whether or not he's going to make it or not?
You know, it doesn't matter. The first time, like, I heard that he might come in a little heavy. He came in like 6 pounds heavy or something, pretty a lot, but I was prepared for that this time. He can come in at 170 if he wants. I mean, if we could, I would gentleman degree him right now. I'll fight him whatever weight he is right now. But that's against the rules. You know, UFC's professional. They like to do that. But I'm up for whatever.
Did you fight? Did you watch the first fight at all during your training camp for this fight and the last one?
I'll tell you a secret. I was there, so I remember very clearly. But yeah, I've seen it, and you know, I mean, I watch all my old fights, and I kind of got to watch with one eye because I see all the mistakes I used to make. I see all the things I used to get away with, just being strong or just being, have a good chin or whatever. It's hard for me to watch those fights just because I see what a waste of talent I was back in the day. Now you watch my fights, completely different human being, 20,000 times better. And I hope he thinks he's in for that same fight that he had before.
You see Charles as a better fighter now?
Yeah, of course. Of course, everyone gets better staying in the UFC that long, but he hasn't improved as much as I have, and he's not on my level.
It's the third time here in Brazil. In your first 2 fights, you won both Brazilian guys. So, and I think just you and maybe Phil Davis did that. So, what's the secret, to not get involved for the crowds and all these things, all the fight against a Brazilian here in Brazil?
It's one thing to hurt a guy, to win a fight in your hometown, and hear the crowd roar, right? There's nothing better than making 20,000 people go silent, and I'm going to do that.
You and him are both top weights. How do you think if you win? How do you think? What do you think could be your next fight? You will be next closer to a title shot.
Never look past your opponent. But after I make a statement on Saturday, I'll be talked about in the title for sure.
Who you got in the main event? Carlos Condit, Thiago Alves.
Come on, man. ATT all the way. Stop.
How do you see that one going down?
Pitbull's going to knock him out.
Should I say that it's an important fight for him as well because all
these emotion things, but of course, and much more because you said something a little bit more than you could say, or you talk too much, he said. So what do you think that he's talking about?
I'll tell you a secret. When you call someone out after a fight, they're going to open their mouth.
You both guys have a lot of wins by submissions. How do you see the fight going?
Well, trust me, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him before the time runs out.
Who's the real champ at light heavyweight right now? Daniel Cormier or John Jones?
John Jones. Don't get me in trouble.
What about the
Reebok and UFC? What's going?
Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah. No. The Reebok deal could be good. I don't know. Hopefully we get a bunch of sponsors and hopefully they all start paying like that.
What do you think that does for managers now? That we see some guys saying, "I don't need management anymore. I got the Reebok deal." What's your take on that?
I don't know. The management game has changed a lot, and it always will. The sport's ever evolving. It's getting bigger, and the more money it is, the more changes there's going to be. I mean, you can't really worry about that kind of stuff. You just got to go in there and make a living. I certainly haven't made millions and millions upon dollars or whatever, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I grew up, and I'm going to make sure that my kids, when they grow up, have a better life than I did.
Well, you've been getting ready for your fight. Betch Correia got a little bit of heat this week because she said that she hopes, she may get Ronda Rousey to kill herself afterwards because she'll be so messed up in the head after she wins. I'm just curious, when there's trash talking before a fight, do you think there's a limit, like a line that can't be crossed, that people should be careful about what they say, or do you think that it's fair game when you're getting ready for a fight?
That stuff sells, and that's the bottom line. We all want to make money out here. At the end of the day, I think all fighters respect anyone that gets up to the UFC level. And if you get to the UFC level, that means you're a bad man or a bad woman. you know. And so at that point, you got to give them respect. But they're trying to take food off your table, you know. They're trying to take money out of you that you could use to give to your family, that you could feed your kids with. So when people start getting in there before the fight happens, there's a lot of emotions that go through it. And one of the keys to being a great fighter is to just push all that stuff aside and be mentally prepared, you know. But nah, you say whatever you want. Who cares? It's just words.
Your both last fights were canceled right before the weightings. How do you see this going? You have any concern?
No, man, come on. You can't think that a fight's going to get canceled or anything. I trained 3 months for this fight. I'm 100% ready. I'll be there on Saturday. I guarantee you Charles will too.